Such a wonderful, I'm so happy to have Anna Schadde here with us. She's so, well, it's a real treat. She's someone who has contributed to homeopathy with her many provings, expanding the homeopathic Materia Medica with her insights. She began her journey in homeopathy in Munich, Germany, and was the co-founder of the Homeopathy Forum in Germany in 1990, and the co-founder of the ECCH, the ICCH, European Union, or International Councils of Homeopathy, a co-founder of WISH. She's going to tell us all of this, so I'm just going to introduce her. Please welcome Anna. So nice to be with you.
Yeah, welcome, Laurie. Thank you for the invitation.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Women here on stage. Yeah.
Oh, what should we do?
Yeah, very good, very good. I mean, I thought when I was listening to Mahesh,
yes,
what you do now is it's a kind of interview. It's like we do an interview in daily practice.
Yes.
Tell me about yourself. Tell me about your experience. What did you learn? What was your life? I mean, It's very important that we homeopaths once sit on the other side, not on this side. I'm sitting on the side where the patient usually is sitting. Yeah, I sit on the other side, and the patient is here because of the light. Since I do videos, they have to have the light on their faces. Yeah, so it's a good experience. Now I'm sitting on at the chair of the patient. Yeah.
Nice. Welcome.
Thank you. We know each other for a long time, don't we? Yes.
Lucky.
I'm 73 years old. It means, and I'm in practice for 35 years. It means I had life before, I wasn't born as a homeopath, okay? I had to learn it and I had to get into it. And this is what I'm going to tell now.
Good. Thank you.
Before I went into homeopathy, I was a teacher in a secondary school. I taught there and it was quite good. I was very satisfied. I had 2 little children, so everything was fine. But one day I got a student with a very difficult life situation. He was very depressed and aggressive. It means during school days, during the lectures, he was always disturbing our lecturing. Yeah. By that time, I was young and very strong. I said, okay, boy, what do you want? And he came and he said, I have a very difficult life. Can you help me? And in that moment, I jumped into that. I helped him a little bit in his life, but I saw it is so hard. I was not trained for helping youngsters in their life. I was trained as a teacher and I could teach German, but I couldn't help the psyche of a young boy of 16 years old. And he began to tell me every week his dreams. In the dream, He was always falling into a hole, and at the end of the hole there was a light, and I said, follow this light, because I had no clue what I was saying. But he was telling me every week the same dream, and the light got smaller and smaller and smaller. After some months, I got scared. I said, what is this? But finally, this guy committed suicide in the huge summer pause, summer holidays. And I was shocked after this, because before we went into this holiday, in the summer holidays, he said to me, what shall I do the next weeks without you? Oh, I said, you learn, because for next 2 year you have to learn. You have to, because I was a teacher. Teacher means you learn something. And in that moment, I realized that I have to do something different. And I began to training education in psychotherapy, because I wanted to do psychotherapeutic training with young students, because I like children. I have 8 grandchildren. You can imagine my children are the love of my life. So by that time, I don't know, my children were small by that time. And then in Germany, you have to have a special kind of training in order to treat, in order to be independent. And independence is something for me, it's very important. I belong to the 68th movement of women liberation, to be free. Yeah, and so I did the Heilpraktiker training. It means after 3 years you are able to treat people. And I learned in my psychotherapy education the psychotherapy of Carl Gustav Jung. And since I was more interested in dreams and stories, etc., even the anthroposophy of Rudolf Steiner touched me very deeply. So, and I combined all this. And when I met homeopathy, I was very impressed. I said, oh, this is a bridge between physical symptoms and the emotional state. Because with the homeopathic remedy, you can combine everything. You are free to move the person, to help the person to grow, to help the person to be more aware of their own being.
Yes.
So, and this is what I did. And, and then I began to practice 35 years ago in the 80s. You know how it was in the 80s, you remember? your time too. We didn't have a lot of teachers. In Germany, we had some German teachers, but, it was not enough. The German old teachers of the old schools repertorized 50 symptoms and then gave sulfur, calcarea carbonica, tuberculinum, etc. This was not enough. So I began to study with Vithoulkas. I went through all the seminars of Vithoulkas, and I learned a lot from him. I learned the understanding of the person as a whole. I learned to understand what does it mean to have this symptom, etc. I mean, this was a very good experience, but at one moment, I felt I have to know more. And one day at the end of the 80s, we were all sitting, it was in 1989, we were sitting together and saying, we have to open up, not only one method, we have to know everything, what is going around in the world, not only with Vithoulkas, not only the old masters, not only this, we have to be a group who is open to the whole world. And we founded in Germany the first homeopathic organization, the Homeopathy Forum. I was one of the co-founders because I was interested in doing something new for homeopathy. So, and in that moment, we tried to know about all organizations around the world, and we met from the Society of Homeopaths in England. We met Stephen Gordon, one of the most nice people I have ever met. But he's dead. He died, unfortunately, some years ago. So, and Stephen Gordon said, let's combine, or let's be together with the whole world. So first we had the European Council of Classical Homeopathy, and then the International Council of Classical Homeopathy. This means we got to know all homeopaths around the world.
Yes.
And there was one moment in 1991 or something like this. I was in England and I was at Sarjan Sankaran's seminar. 500 people, and I was listening, and when I saw Dr. Sankaran, I was so impressed because he opened up for me the most broad way of thinking or of studying a patient, understanding a patient, even by that time. Because, I came from the psychotherapy because I know we have to be open to the whole world. We have to be open to everything, what's going on. And at this seminar, something very strange happened. The organizer said, all the foreigners are invited to a reception after the seminar. So I said, I'm a foreigner. I will go for the reception. And there I met all the nice homeopaths in England, Jeremy Shell, Misha Norland, all my friends now. And it's so nice that I met them. By that time, I had no idea what I should do in this group. Yes. But Dr. Sankaran asked me, he was interested in Germany because Hahnemann was German. So it means he wanted to come into Germany to see how is the homeopathy in Germany, because up to now, homeopathy was almost only in India or in Greece, but it was not, or in England or in Holland, but it was not really in Germany. It was popular, it was done, but the German rules. We are very strict in rules. This is how we did homeopathy. So, and this is one of the moments when we tried to be all together and learn homeopathy in a different way.
Yeah.
And at the same time, how it is sometimes, at the same time, things happen. Hahnemann, today now, it's a very important day. It's a very special day. It's his birthday. Since the beginning, I celebrate Hahnemann's birthday.
How do you celebrate, Anne? How do you alone?
Yeah.
How do you celebrate?
Yeah, I have all these pictures. Hahnemann's there, and his desk. His the last photo of his desk I have there because he's observing all the remedies. He's just watching all the remedies. This is what I talk to him. Yeah. So, and today is his birthday and it began like this. I was invited to Köthen, what is Hahnemann's hometown in Germany, eastern part of Germany, to speak at the 10th of April in 1993. No, it was not in April. It was another date, but it was in 1993 because of this 150th death day. They celebrated his death. Yeah, they celebrated his death in 1993. So, and I was invited to talk about the organon. To talk about the organon means I had to understand the organon from the beginning. So, and it took me half a year to think into the organon. I began to understand. First, I thought, I know German language, and the organon is a very, very difficult German language. But since I'm, trained for German language, I could understand a little bit deeper what is the meaning of this language. Hahnemann, we should not forget, it was a time 200 years ago, the age of enlightenment or of reason, I don't know how we call it. It was the time after Middle Age, after the religion, the superstition, the mysticism of the Middle Age. And Hahnemann could not write it on a mystical level. But Hahnemann was a Freemason. He was trained as a Freemason. What did the Freemason do? They had to hide their wisdom under the normal language. So that's why I began in 1993 to understand what is the hidden secret behind Hahnemann's language, behind the whole organon. And it was quite obvious that there is a rhythm in the organon. I mean, the organon is not fixed because we know we have 6 editions. It means it will change. It will go deeper as we do in homeopathy. As Mahesh said before, we are standing on the shoulders of 4 masters, and when you stand on the shoulders of something, you can see further. I mean, and our students, all the students who are listening now, you stand on our shoulders and you look further, and this is an advantage, So that's why we have to develop, we have to grow.
Yes.
So, but in the organon, I began with the first 3 paragraphs where Hahnemann said, he begins with the physician, paragraph 1 with the physician, and ends in paragraph 3 with an artist. It means we have to learn as a homeopath to begin as a physician and look after the diseases, etc., and try to cure, but in an artistic way. But what does it mean to be an artist? Yeah, this is the first question you can ask yourself.
Yes.
The artist means you have to know your tools. When you are a painter, you have to know how to, or the colors, about the paper and the colors, etc. But it's not only that you know the tools. It's more. You have to, you have to get access to your intuition. Like Mahesh showed what his intuition is. You have to understand what is your inner drive. What do you want to express? What do you want to give to the world? And a very important tool, or a very important part of art is playing. And this is what I saw with Dr. Sankran. He is playing. And, the play is something very important. For Germans, it's difficult because we don't play. Yeah, but we got to learn this. Every homeopath has to learn to play with things, to play with life, to understand it not in a fixed way, but in a way how you move, like you play, like you dance. Like, for example, a child plays with a doll and calls the doll, this little thing is Maria or is Mary, yeah? But it's not Mary at all, but it's the idea of it. And this is what we got to learn. I mean, Hahnemann was very clever. All the wordings, nowadays I read through all the wordings in the organon. And for example, he said in paragraph 6 of the organon, the observer without a prejudice. Yes. Unfortunately, in English, it's translated in the unprejudiced observer. But it's not, Hahnemann didn't say the unprejudiced because, there is always a prejudice.
Yes.
There is no life without prejudice. So he said in the organon, this is the right translation. I could translate it in a different way. Say it's the observer without the prejudice. This means you have a prejudice and you get rid of it. And this is what Hahnemann, everything what we do nowadays is in the organon. He's talking about the gestalt of the disease. Nowadays we don't talk only about symptoms, we talk about the gestalt of the disease. This was very important for us all. And this is what I understood of the organon. Actually, this was 93 in Köthen when I tried to discover this and bring this to the audience. And 10 years ago, I got an invitation from the Freemason order in Munich. And the interesting thing was the name of the order is chain. Yeah, it's a link. The link. Yeah, it's die Kette. Yeah, it means, and they asked me to talk about, I don't know from whom they knew it. They asked me about the Freemason tendency of Hahnemann and of the organon. So they got interested in it. And I told them that all the paragraphs of the organon are like a chain connected, because every next paragraph begins with the next with the first wordings, except paragraph 3. But paragraph 3 is 1, 2, 3. It's a triangle, and this is it. It's full. Yeah. Right.
Yes.
So
yes.
And so I mean, this the world is open up. We are not that we are locked in just now, but the whole world is open up in a way, because it's always the opposite. The opposite is equally true. It's not only in the lockdown, we are locked down, but here, we are together with, I don't know how many hundreds of people. It means we are now in a completely different world. So I like the idea, because I'm always fond of new ideas. Yeah, and this is what I experienced this. And then, when I met first in England, all the English homeopaths.
Yes.
Jeremy Sher and me, we spent an evening together and talking about provings. And he infected me with the proving idea. It's a kind of infection. Yeah. He said we have to, this is what we discussed. He said, Anne, we have to go on. We couldn't leave it like it is, because Hahnemann tells us, the supper, it means, this Aude Sapere is translated from the German philosopher Immanuel Kant, lives during the same time, because Hahnemann used Immanuel Kant's metaphor, Sapere Aude, for dare to use your own mind. Yeah, dare to think yourself. Okay, I said, okay, this is the motto of my life.
Tell a little bit more about the motto of your life.
Right. The motto is, I begin to think myself. I do whatever I want, in a way.
I think you better say a bit more.
A bit more, yes.
A bit more, yes.
It's like, try to use things what you have not done before. Do something new. Yeah. Yes. Dare. Don't hide it. Don't be coward or think, it wouldn't work. Sometimes it's like you have to step beyond something.
Yes.
You know how it is, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, to use your own mind. Yeah, and in this time, when I had this talk with Jeremy and he infected me, I said, so, okay. What is now my own thought? In a way, Hahnemann says, do it as I did it. This is what we say. But it's not that we should do it as he did it. He's telling us, do it as I did. And what did he do? He developed something new.
Yes.
He said, okay, I don't care what the others are thinking. I do it my way. And this is what Hahnemann told us.
Yes.
It's not, we have this struggle in homeopathy that people say, we have to do it as Hahnemann did it. Yes, we have to do it as Hahnemann did it. But Hahnemann did not care what others say.
Yes.
Yeah, he did his own thing. So, but I was wondering, how would Hahnemann think nowadays? It was 1993.
Yes.
Because we understood that Hahnemann took arsenicum because the wine was poisoned by arsenic. He took lycopodium because lycopodium was the basic of all the drugs, like digitalis, etc. So that's why Hahnemann or mercurius because of the treatment of syphilis. So I was wondering, what is the energy of this time? Huh? What is needed? Because I can't think of myself. I just can't think what is needed in the world. So, and where do we see it? In the news, in the newspaper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is the theme of the world? We come later on to the time now. But by that time, it was 1993. All the news were talking about ozone, because ozone was
yes,
ourselves, etc. The world, because before it was healthy in the world around us, but now since it's on Earth, it's poisoning us. So I said, let's do a proving of ozone, and I conducted a proving of ozone from different countries in the world, And I try to understand what is the idea of ozone. So many provers, but with the proven symptoms, it doesn't make anything. It's like you have to understand it completely. And I understood it 3 years later and presented at 1997 in Berlin at the huge conference. We had a huge conference in Berlin, homeopathic conference, 1,500 people from everywhere around the world. And I presented my first ozone case. And I learned such a lot from this case, because it was a young man who, not too young anymore, but in the middle age, who has lost his sense of smell. When did he lose his sense of smell? When he was in a cave where was a bad smell, and after that he couldn't smell anymore. But then when I went through asking him about what does it mean to lose a sense of smell, he said, as a child, I was used to smell myself. I was licking my hand and smelling it. And what was the feeling? Because, I'm trained as a psychotherapist. What was the feeling behind it? He said, it's like, I feel safe. In that moment, I feel safe. But on the other hand, this guy was courageous, was audacious. He jumped from high sea, he jumped from skiing. He was very audacious. But on the other hand, he was smelling himself in order not to get lost. So, and when I understood the whole life story, his family was from a German officer who went against Hitler, but lost his life because of this. So he was fearing, in a way, to be whole. He wanted to be whole, but on the other hand, he wanted to get free. And I gave him ozone, and the smell came back, and his complete life changed. He got more aware of it. And so I understood already by that time that there is a connection between the physical symptom, the emotional state, and the whole life.
Right.
And so I went on. And so in the next proving, I was wondering, what is the next story in life? I went to my clinic, and I saw so many patients who took lithium because, bipolar patients with lithium treatment, a lot of lithium treatment. So I was wondering, will this be a miasm for the future? And I did a proving of lithium in order to understand what will be the future, what will be the miasm of the future. This is how I went on. All my provings have this reason. Or, for example, the next proving was ginkgo biloba. Why ginkgo biloba? Because of the dementia. By the time, at the end of the last century, everybody was talking about dementia.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, no, it's true. So, and I didn't do it because it touched myself. It was like I was always looking, what does the world need in that moment? And you can't imagine, at the beginning or at the change of the millennium, we changed from Deutschmark to euro.
Yes. Yes.
So, and that time I did a proving of the cowrie snail.
Oh, wow.
The cowrie snail, and we even had an exhibition here who said, do you want euro or cowries? The Cyprea eglantina, the cowrie snail, which was used in ancient time as money. Yeah.
Yes.
One cow to 500 cowrie snails or something, or they even sold women with cowrie snails. Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, even in China today, the symbol of the cowrie is very important. It means it is a very big, a huge symbol for this world. The money story. Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, at the beginning of the century, I thought the money story is very important. It will be in the future constantly. But, how to prescribe, you have to understand the depth of this remedy. And this is a lot of insecurity because it belongs to the old times, yeah, to when we did not have enough. What happens here? Yeah, no, okay. So this is how I went on, and and once I studied causticum.
Yes.
Hahnemann had done a proving of causticum.
Yes.
Why? I'm always in contact with Hahnemann. That's why I like the celebration today. I was very enlightened when I got your invitation. I said, this is okay, Samuel. We are talking, you're German, yeah? You lived a little bit, a few hundred kilometers apart from my home. Hahnemann was an alchemist.
Yes.
When I studied Jung's psychology, Jung was very strong on alchemy. Alchemy was his main topic, yeah, because he went deep into the mysticism of the alchemists. So, and I was wondering,
just say a little bit for the people listening. They may not understand.
What is alchemy?
Yes, a little bit.
Alchemy is the alchemists of the Middle Age. Mm-hmm. They believe that the human soul was getting better or getting transformed. So was getting transformed through religion, but not the physical body. Yeah. Right. So the idea of alchemy is to transform the physical be into the spirit.
Yes.
It means to form matter into spirit.
Yes.
This is, what we are still heading, that's why in November 2019, I wrote an article about the paradigm change, that the world has to understand that behind matter, there is a spirit. Mm. Up to now, the normal world believes there is matter, only matter. But the alchemists knew already that there is a spirit behind matter. And the old alchemists tried to a process of 3 days to transform the matter into spirit, or to bring the spirit out of matter. I mean, actually, this is how what we do with homeopathy.
Yes.
We take a substance,
Yes.
we triturize, potentize, we do
Dilute.
whatever, and then we believe the spirit is out of the substance, yeah, and we
Yes.
put the spirit on pills, yeah.
Yes.
To dilute it, we put it on pills, and we believe that the spirit will cure the spirit of the
Yes.
patient's disease. This is
Yes.
what we do in homeopathy. I mean,
Yes.
this is a kind of alchemistic process. And
Yes.
it's sure that Hahnemann was an alchemist. Otherwise, he wouldn't have found
Right.
the idea of homeopathy at all. Yeah? So, okay. So, and during this alchemistic studies, I thought, what is an alchemistic substance in this time? Yeah.
Yes. Please tell
I mean,
us.
yeah, I took by that time I took an incense. Yeah.
Yes.
What? Because what do
Ooh.
you with an incense? You burn it, and that moment the spirit goes out, and we potentize an incense in that moment. All my provings are published in the book Listening to Stone, Wood and Shell, published with Homeopathic Medical Publishers. So in order to understand what does it mean to be an alchemist, I mean, it's like what Hahnemann did, huh? Okay, this I'm always on his steps. Yes. This is how I see homeopathy. This is my way of looking at homeopathy. And the last remedies, I mean, I did even more, but the last remedies I selected were gemstones.
Yes, tourmalines.
The tourmalines, yeah.
Specifically.
Even in this time now.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I have treated so many patients with tourmalines because of the depression. People feel depressed. They feel alone. They are angry. Yeah, in Germany now, they have old traumata. They feel their traumata are activated just now, wounds which are deeply closed in. Yeah.
Yes.
They can't show it, but it should break open. I mean, by that time when I began 10 years ago about the study about the tourmalines, the gemstones, I was sure that the proving of the gemstone has to do with something. It has to break open. Something. That's why I triturized the stone. For me, it was very necessary to triturize it in order to break open whatever comes. Whatever will come. And I believe that's why this time, now this COVID time now, I treat a lot of depression or hidden stories, because all the old stories now in my daily clinic, they come up. Yeah. This is what I see. Because it's a time of change, what we are having now. It's a time of something has to change. And that's why we are forced with all our old stories. Yeah.
Anne, your passion is palpable. And I know that I've known you for many years, and it's always been as strong and as sincere and as heartfelt as it was 20 years ago. What feeds that? What keeps that love or that going, Anne? Because there's been challenging times, no doubt. There's been difficult cases. There's been failures or what have you. But that energy continues.
Yeah, I mean, the energy I have is the energy of curiosity. I'm always curious. I'm always interested in something new. That's why, I mean, even project on Hahnemann that he was interested in something new.
Yes.
It's like we all live from our protection. I mean, it's like we look into the mirror and say, aha, he wants something new, because I want something new.
Right.
In that moment, life is easy. I get easily bored. I mean, for homeopathic practice, it's very important because every patient is new. Yeah.
Yes.
Every patient offers a new story. So, and I don't use any method constantly. I use whatever comes. Sometimes you have to rely on the symptoms of repertory. Sometimes you have to understand the sensation of the patient. Yeah, and to treat in this way. Sometimes you have to understand only the periodic. It's only find the periodic table. Sometimes I like Mahesh's idea of the personal evolution model. Where is the patient located? What does the patient show? But it's not always. I prefer to be open, since I have no own method.
You're free.
I'm free. So this is how I began in the 20s of the women liberation movement.
Yes.
I was 20 years old, 19, I was 21, sitting on the floor and discussing about women liberation here in Germany. Yeah. We went for demonstration, we want to be free. We women want to be free. And, now 50 years after that, we are more free than we were before. Yeah, that's already good, But I'm still on this. It's like it's my energy. Yeah.
Yeah. I so appreciate it, Anne. Thank you so much for joining us today. Your energy, your passion, your love is so appreciated.
Yeah. Thank you very much for